there, happy Sunday to you. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz on this sunny Sunday, the final day of May. And we are heading into a very warm stretch of weather, but it's not going to last all too long. As you well know, the past couple of weeks, we've had major temperature swings, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, but the 80s are not long-lived. So we're not going to have days upon days in the 80s, but it's going to be hot on Tuesday, especially for those who don't have ways to keep cool. Adequate cooling, especially if you don't have AC or you work outside, and especially in the direct sun. Tuesday is going to be that day you really want to pay close attention. But temperatures will start to go up before they start to go down. Gradual cooling with shower chances by the middle half of the week. Something else on Tuesday, our first 9 o'clock sunset, the first of many, by the way. So let's talk about what's going on. We have that ridge of high pressure that's continuing to amplify over the region, and it's going to block any weather systems from moving in. So we have one to our west, we have one to our east. Watch what happens. It, again, continues to block it, both systems, especially this one to the east of us, into Monday. But it's going to be close enough that it's going to rotate some clouds, so a little bit of moisture over portions of western Washington. So Monday afternoon, Monday evening, we'll likely have more clouds moving in, but we're still going to be really warm, still feeling that influence from the ridge. But then Tuesday comes around. This ridge is going to start to weaken a little bit, but we're going to have a push of offshore winds, so essentially a thermal trough, so a thermal low will form over western Washington, more than likely over Puget Sound, and so that's going to lead to some really hot temperatures. Temperatures will climb quickly once we get that push of offshore winds. As you may well know, it does get quite hot, but that's going to dry out our air, and I'll talk about that coming up. But then into our Wednesday, that ridge breaks down, and then it will get a couple of disturbances moving in. And that's Wednesday into Thursday and into Friday. But we could have another low, not just a quick moving disturbance, moving in Friday and into Saturday. And that would send more waves of rain. So for now, maybe Friday into Saturday look to be the wetter days. Through Saturday, though, we're not talking substantial rain, but we will take anything we can get. And again, this would be rain chances Wednesday and into next weekend. So we won't have any rain the next few days. But through Saturday, rain totals look to be rather manageable, but this could definitely change. This is just an estimate, so maybe a quarter of an inch up to half of an inch for portions of Puget Sound. If we get any downpours or say a convergent zone, then we could get more rain than that, maybe an inch or so. But again, that's over the span of a couple of days. To break down the 7-day forecast for you, today 60s, our average high this time of year is about 68, 69, so right on the dot there. And then Monday, high clouds will move in. That could give us filtered sunshine, but we're still expecting 70s. Tuesday is going to be the hottest day, mostly sunny, 83, and you see how we don't cool off much overnight, so that means very little relief from the heat before we warm things up again. Wednesday, still kind of a question mark on how warm we get. We'll have to see how quickly we get that push of onshore winds again and bringing us that cooler Pacific air. If it moves in a little earlier, then we'll have temperatures in the 70s or 60s instead of the 70s. So look for some changes there. Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday, you see how temperatures start to go down because we'll get that weather pattern flip, so we'll just get system after system or a few disturbances. Let's take you outside where we have nothing but sunshine, at least for most spots. You see how bright blue the sky is seen from Squim. Even at Paradise, you see a lot of people heading out, blue sky, bluebird special there, and then at the coast looking lovely. Eastern Washington, Lake Chelan, you see some more clouds in place, but still a beautiful day. Had to share it, had to zoom in just so you can see that the mountain is out, it's beautiful. as can be, as always. You see a little bit of haze, it looks like, off in the distance, but we are expecting to have winds out of the north, maybe northwest, 10 miles per hour, so that will keep the air mixing, so we shouldn't have any air quality issues. Now, if we had stagnant conditions, then we could have some drops in air quality, but as a whole, looking good for that. Sunday's highs. So again, average high, upper 60s, mid 60s up north. And then for Central Sound, South Sound, and away from the water, so the Cascade foothills and valleys, lower 70s more than likely, but we start to warm things up. Tomorrow morning, mainly clear. We'll have 40s and 50s. 51 is our average high or low temperature, so we'll likely be near that, if not maybe a few degrees below that, but definitely not as chilly as this morning. We had some spots in the 30s. Let's talk about tomorrow morning. As we know, sunrise is after 5 o'clock now, and we're going to warm up quickly tomorrow under sunny skies, and then as I mentioned, with that one disturbance to our east, it's going to send some high clouds over the area, and that would likely be later in the afternoon, evening, but still expected to warm up into the low and mid 70s for pretty much everyone you see, and a few of our hot spots will be in the upper 70s, potentially near 80 degrees. Pretty similar east of the Cascades, mid 70s and lower 80s there. Up in the mountains, if you're hiking tomorrow, really going to be nice for that. Very warm. Tuesday, again, that's the day where everyone will get the peak heating. So all the way to the coast, going to be in the mid and upper 70s, maybe a few spots near 80 there. Interior areas, even up in Bellingham, all up and down I-5, upper 70s to lower 80s, and then the Central Sound, South Sound, the Cascade foothills and valleys, mid 80s, low and mid 80s, and some spots may even warm up to about 90 degrees, so our isolated hot spots. So coming close to that. Here in Seattle, this is not record-breaking heat for Tuesday's day, so June 2nd, but the previous record at SeaTac is in the 90s. So we're not expecting that, not yet. We can pump the brakes on that, but a few spots could hit 90 degrees. Up in the mountains, you see very warm there, so going to be toasty on the trails, and east of the Cascades, 70s and 80s. With all of that being said, I mentioned we'll get a push of offshore winds, lower humidity, and the heat. It's that time of year where we have to watch for elevated fire dangers. So this is a product, it's showing the levels of, it puts together the temperature, puts together the wind and the humidity, and it makes a calculation of where or how high our fire danger could be. Not to say that it's going to be a fiery day, no, it's just it may not take much to cause brush fires or anything of that nature and for them to spread. So this is Tuesday afternoon showing relative humidity down to maybe 20 to 30%. And so where you see the oranges and especially the reds, that's indicating that there's going to be a higher fire danger for Tuesday, again, especially with those offshore winds. So that will be something we're watching for carefully. Water temperatures, the air is hot, water is not. We can't stress that enough. As of 9 o'clock this morning, the buoy's reading 62 in Lake Washington, Lake Sammamish 65, Puget Sound around 52, 53, and our rivers are still running cold, 40 to 50 degrees on average, moving quickly to this time of year. Out on the coast, Aberdeen's buoy reading 54, Westport 55, and La Push 55 to 57. So again, air temperature is hot, water is not, and all it takes is about 60-degree water temperatures to lead to some issues for cold water shock. So again, just a friendly reminder. We typically don't even have Lake Sammamish, Lake Washington, at least closer into the middle of the lake, warm up above 70 degrees until later in the summer, more than likely July. But with all this warm weather, might not take much, but still, please take it easy out there. So once again, to wrap things up, upper 60s to about 70 today, mid 70s tomorrow, high clouds, mostly sunny and hot on Tuesday, and then we start to cool things down once again. into beyond the 7-day forecast. As you see, we'll have temperatures potentially just near normal, if not maybe below normal, depends on the timing of next weekend system, but then trending closer to normal. And that likely means mostly dry too. Remember, you can always find the latest forecast, a deep dive into the forecast like this one on King 5 Plus, our YouTube page, king5.com, and you can always download our free King 5 app.